Hello, friends, and welcome to the channel. I'm Handington, and today we're going to be looking at the Animaniacs Reboot trailers because it's coming out later this November, and I am super excited about it. This looks like a really faithful reboot, so I've seen these already, but I want to go through it and just talk about some of the parts that I really like. So I'm gonna focus on the Jurassic Park clip because I love everything about this. I'm doing this off of my phone, so this way there'll be a lot of starting and stopping, for the copyright reasons, and also because it's way easier to do this from my phone. So it's an interactive experience. You get to see what it's like to watch YouTube off your phone, possibly off your phone. It's phone YouTubeception. We have the Warner Mobile, which is always good. That is what I have to say about that. We have Aaron Hansen driving Mr. McGuy. And I love that. I know the screen is rather dark, unfortunately, but I love the quickness of of his facial motions. Look. Ooh. I love that, and the eyebrow raises and it zooms into his face. That's like the correct Animaniacs timing. They got it right, and I'm so happy about that. This looks so promising. I love this. One of the great things about Animaniacs is that you can still enjoy it on a number of different levels. So even if you don't know who this guy is, I forget his name off the top of my head. The motions and everything are still really entertaining, and it's fun to watch. It has such a good energy to it, and that's what a lot of things miss that tend to reference or parody pop culture. They miss a lot of people who may not understand the source material, and a lot of those people wouldn't necessarily have fun. That's why a lot of really good parodies are able to be enjoyed, even if you don't know the original thing. That's why a lot of the times when the Simpsons parodies stuff, it's really good because you can enjoy it as is, and you can enjoy it for the parody and being smart and everything. And what I've also find very fitting is that this is starting off as a parody of Jurassic Park, which is one of Steven Spielberg's most famous movies, which is used to introduce one of Steven Spielberg's most famous shows, Animaniacs. So it all comes together really nicely. I love it. Blink, blink. That was back when they used the cell animation, where they would paint on the clear animation cells into individual frames, which is why cartoons were a lot harder to get done. Granted, I love the style of the older shows, the feel that it has when it's all hand painted, but I still like the newer stuff because that means you can get it done like faster. I would rather have more cartoons in the world and have it be a little easier for people to make rather than having it take ages and ages and ages. All of the people are caricatures. They're stylized to fit this world. So the people not only have exaggerated motions, but even their facial features and their movements and everything, it all fits into the feel of the world. They're always able to nail the feelings of the people they're parodying, and it's so fun. They make sure that everything that they do is just fun and enjoyable. It's the classic Warner Brothers sort of style. That's why they're the Warner Brothers, and the little dot at the end for when it's shortened to WB, that's Dot. The Warner sister. So I love this. This show is so creative. I love the little gear sound when turning her head. It's great. I love the cartoony sounds. It fits so well. And it looks like a dino, and then it morphs into the Animaniacs. There they go. Look at the way that the field is. The field is positioned. Sometimes the Animaniacs would just have really nice animation at points, and I love the depth of field that the field has. Look at the little dandelion! And there's Steven Spielberg. I almost said Spielberg. I can't speak today. He gives off the pleasant chill vibe, and then he's just gonna go, ha 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 ha, yes. He's great and talented. Aaron Hansen is just kind of there, and Jeff Goldblum is in the back, and I love the Jeff Goldblum parody. And there's the hand. He brushes the hand so nonchalant. There it is again. Ah. Yeah, so vector outlines, I'm not the best to talk about this, but essentially, vectored lines, if you keep zooming in more and more, it's going to end up being very clean, whereas bitmaps and other images, when you scroll in, it'll end up being more pixelated. The older stuff, when scaled up on a computer, that stuff would end up being blurry and wouldn't be as clean. So all of the animation lines, as you can see here with Yakko's feet, they look a little weird. That kind of stuff looks a little bit nicer, hand drawn, just because it looks kind of weird over here. But the rest, like his face, Yakko's face, Yakko's hands, they all look like the feeling of the show, and it's great. I love it. Widescreen, a great image to pause on. But yes, the original ones were set up for the square CRTs, and I don't remember what the dimensions are. We used to have those as the TVs back in my day. I don't miss the heaviness of them, but I've a soft spot for the squareness just because that's how that's what I had growing up. Sometimes when older movies are adjusted, they'll either stretch it out and it looks a little bit weird, or they'll just add black bars onto the side, which is the best way to adapt it into widescreen, because otherwise it'll end up feeling weird. We had studied this in film class when I was in high school, where some movie, I think it was The Graduate, they had a version of it that was chopped up where they cut down and zoomed into different sides. So, like, the parents were supposed to swim around the kid like sharks, but you don't get to see that as much because they would just zoom in on one side or then the other side, as well as having it just be kind of blurry. That's not a good way to adapt something into widescreen. Some things zoom in and they cut off stuff on the sides, which is what Disney Plus had done with The Simpsons, which ended up making them lose a number of jokes that were on the top screen or on the bottom of the screen, most notably the Duff Brewery, whereas this is being animated specifically for the widescreen format. So we have more to the side than we would have on the more square screens. After mentioning that, another very clever subtlety of the animation is that to show the widescreen, to show how they can fit more on the screen at once, she's all the way on the left and he's all the way on the right, because you can fit both of them on the screen at the same time. It's so clever. She's doing, the cartoony thing of honking, and then the little horns come out of her ears, which are great. And you can't actually see her ears, they're covered up by the thing. You can't get with live action stuff, or it would look really awkward, like Son of the Mask, if you don't do it right. Whereas here, it fits perfectly. She looks sort of like something from Tiny Planets. That's what it reminds me of. Do any of you remember that old CGI show? I loved it when I was little. Which is great because animated again, or reanimated as in brought back to life. I loved it, and you can see the Warner Brothers watermark, which won't be there if this is actually a clip somewhere in the show, because otherwise, this is just a fantastic introduction trailer. I saw this before the other trailer that they did. I don't know if this was released before that, but this was the order that I had seen it, and I love it. It's so good. And then Hulu, which has a really good sense of humor, is able to poke fun of themselves with this guy. The Hulu guy is only interested in the money aspect, which is, there's such good sports about that, which is something I really like, where they're like, oh, we can profit off of them, yay. It's so good. This might be the CEO. I don't know who he is, but he, again, his motions are just, it's so expressive. And then they have the little bell alarm with Yakko and Wacko scared of the pie that she's holding. Ah, I love that. I love that so much. And you can hear the Jurassic Park theme rising in the background as well. How zany are they? And to the max, which is a reference to their theme song. For anybody else who does not know, because I'm trying to keep this in case other people aren't aware of the show or anything, because I love this. I don't know. I think the thing he's holding is, I mean, I know that's a reference to Jurassic Park, but I don't know what that might be a parody of. It looks almost like a turkey baster.
Say it again. We're bringing back Pinky and the Brain.
I love all of their expressions as they move. Just everyone. He's happy while he's talking. Um, Mr. McMahon is moving. She's just happy, and her eyes are tired. I love the little tiredness under their eyes that just they've been searching for so long. And she's blinking, but he's the much more expressive one in the background. But they don't forget her. They don't keep her as just not moving. She moves to the side. Happy Steven Spielberg man is just charmingly on the left.
Put your head between your knees.
And with the majestic score in the sunset, they're just silly bouncing backwards. And now he's on his back. And I love look at his boots. They're the little rough spots on his boots for walking around. It's so cool.
Where are they going? Home. Welcome to Animaniacs.
Yay! Welcome to Jurassic Animaniacs. Also, I wanted to show on his hat, there it is. That I believe is the WB logo. The only thing I don't like is how loudly they then do the those are the facts, because it's so much louder than the rest of this. Oh, new episode's November 12th. So it goes from, yeah, and you just get a blast right at you. So I'm not a fan of that. But the rest of this is so cool. Oh, how did I not like it already? Here we go. So, yay, the memorable songs. Yes. Ah, yay. That's it. I believe it's that time again, friends. If you like what I do, don't be shy to give a thumbs up. Have a pleasant day, everyone, and this is Handington signing off. Bye.